Okay, we're going to use cross sections to find the volume of a solid. Okay, the solid will have base lying in x squared plus y squared equals 9, which is a circle in the xy plane. And the cross sections are either going to be squares or circles. I'm actually going to do two separate problems here. So for both of them, we have this circle of radius 3 centered at the origin. For our first one, our cross sections sticking out of the board are squares, like this. Okay, so when we slice it, we're going to get squares with a little bit of depth. So the volume of a slice will be, well, the area of that square is side squared, and the little bit of depth is sliced this way, so it's going to be a delta x. Now I need to figure out the length of that side. Here we see the length of the square, and it looks a little bit like a y-coordinate, only it looks like twice the y-coordinate, because the y-coordinate is from the center up to the point. So my side is 2y quantity squared. Okay, well, we also don't want to leave it in terms of y, because we're integrating with respect to x. So I'm going to go back to my equation and solve this for y. Okay, and then get to plug that in. The square and the square root cancel each other. And I get my volume of a slice. Then I'm integrating this, okay, from -3 to 3. Which gives me a volume of 144. You'll notice that cross sections tend to be the only time we get volumes that don't have a pi in them, and that's because there was no circularness here. That doesn't mean, of course, that there won't be a pi, because in the second example I'm going to do the same problem but with cross sections of circles this time. So the diameter of the circle is going to go through the xy plane. Part of it will stick up and part of it will stick down into the board. Okay. So this time, okay, the volume of a slice is the area of the circle, namely pi r squared, times its little height, which is a delta x. Now we need to figure out the radius of that circle, and on the board, the radius is from here up to here, which is simply the y-coordinate. Okay, so that's pi y squared delta x. I already know what y is. Once again, the square root and the square cancel each other out. Okay. And I get my volume of a slice. Then when I add them all up, the volume, once again, from -3 to 3. The antiderivatives are the same except for the pi in place of the 4. And I end up with a volume of 36 pi when my cross sections are circles. You'll notice that no matter what the cross section is, they have now told you the formula you need to find the volume of a slice.